Hello, team. I just want to tell you about this BOGO. This BOGO is epic. Okay, so there are 3, 6, 9, 12 oils plus a, I don't know what that thing is called. This thing. I'm having a blank. This thing right here, okay? It's made out of gemstone. That one looks like it's rose quartz. I don't know if they're all going to be rose quartz. But I use one of these on my face, and it promotes circulation. And so you just, sometimes people use, what is that thing called? Well, I don't want to get too distracted. I want to talk about the oils. Anyway, we're going to start off talking about the first one, which is osmanthus. Now, BOGOs always seem great. We can get a lot of oils for a cheap price. It does not devalue the oil. It's generally because doTERRA has a theme that they want to present you with, and because doTERRA is so committed to wellness, they want to make it more accessible to you to be able to use these oils. Okay, so that's why they're doing a BOGO. Now we're going to start off with osmanthus, and I'm doing it this way so that you guys could see how I get information, okay? So there's an app for this book right here, one of my favorite books, the Essential Life book. You've seen me talk about this book before, and I'm using the app version. So osmanthus is the oil of gentleness. How beautiful is that? And osmanthus is really subtle. It's a beautiful oil. Um, it's it says the reassuring aroma melts away a state of stress, over extending, and hurriedness. I could probably use some of that now. I've got 12 oils to talk about. I mean, this is going to be, I'm going to try to go as quick as possible. So it helps you to relax in moments where we can appreciate what's going on. So it helps you to be present. And it's so often that we are moving so fast in life. You've heard me say this before. We're moving so fast, all we see is green. We don't see the bush or the forest. And this kind of helps you to slow down, be present, and just really appreciate the moment. And I feel like when we do that, we get so much more out of the experience, out of life. The wisdom can come, the messages could come, the knowing can come, especially when you're in that space of feeling overwhelmed. I don't know about you, but when I feel overwhelmed, I can't make decisions. I can't focus my attention in one place long enough because I am so distracted that I'm all over the place. And oftentimes we go into freeze mode. So osmanthus helps you to slow down and to appreciate that moment that's happening right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful oil. And it comes in the touch version. The next oil I'm going to talk about, I'm going to look up, oh, hang on a second, osmanthus. Let's look up the emotion. Oh, different app. Let's stay on, let me see if I can get that. Essential Emotion is the other app. Oh, I was in that one. Hang on. Essential Life. Essential Life. Like I said, I can use some osmanthus right now. Oh, seriously? What's happening right now? I think it's an update. Oh. All right, let's stick with the Emotions app and the book. Osmanthus is not in this book because I'm functioning off of an older book. So, Clary Calm. Let's look up Clary Calm. Now, I love Clary Calm. I actually use Clary Calm every day. This one is called the Women's Monthly Blend. It's the oil of vulnerability. Now, this oil is not just for women, just because it says the Women's Monthly Blend, okay? As you know, just like perfumes and colognes, which are plants, by the way, they smell different on everyone because of your own pheromones, right? So whisper, we know, is like the women's sexy oil. But men, when men wear it, oh, it smells so good. It's really, really good. So men, don't be afraid to try Clary Calm, especially in the older years, 45 and older, or during the menopause, during the um, what is it? High school years. Oh my gosh, I am really having a brain fog right now. Adolescence. Thank you. During the adolescent years, when the hormones are raging, what this helps to do, you feel very vulnerable. You feel like your emotions are out there on your sleeve, and you just can't. I know when I was menstruating, I don't menstruate anymore, but when I remember months when I felt completely out of control. It's as though I was watching myself. Talk about feeling vulnerable. Oh my gosh, but not in a good way. When you use Clary Calm, it helps you to to be vulnerable in such a different way. It just shifts things so that you can have those more vulnerable relationships and feel safe. And this is huge when we're connecting with people. That mother-child bond, it helps to strengthen that. Um, it helps to foster emotional intimacy. It's the perfect blend for supporting pregnancy and child delivery because it's got that clary sage in there. And don't be fooled. I know there's a lot of people that believe that clary sage will send you right into birthing. That is not true. The body will do what it needs to do when it needs to do it. The oils don't, and here's something, the oils don't force you to do anything, okay? The oils actually don't even heal you. And I know that some of you may be shocked to hear me say that. What they do is they surround you with the environment that is perfect for your body to thrive and to do what it's designed to do. And that is to heal itself and to do all the functions of a human that it is designed to perfectly carry out. So it's just like when we eat a really good diet, most likely you're going to be healthy, right? You're going to have clear mind, clear body, clear spirit. And when you eat a bunch of crap, you feel like crap, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Good stuff in, good stuff out. And so Clary Calm helps you shift those feelings of invulnerability. If you're feeling very guarded and defensive, emotionally tense, sometimes when we feel vulnerable, we have our guard up and it's like we have our fighting gloves on. And that's not how we want to go through the day or through the week or through life, really. I mean, that stress of tension in the body causes dis-ease in other areas. So Clary Calm could help you with those feelings. This says dread of suffering during menstruation or menopause. I could relate to that. All right, citrus bloom. Let's see if they even have citrus bloom in here. Oh, they do. Okay, citrus bloom, of course, is the oil of new beginnings, because when you think about flowers blooming, it is the beginning of the beauty of it opening up, of it's about to just, share its beauty and its senses with everyone, and it flows with this essence that's so attractive. Oh, hello, birdie. Um, So it says in each individual's life, there's a time when the previous chapter comes to a close and a new one is about to begin. This blend is the ally during the metamorphosis and transition phase, where it's about to emerge, and to emerge still remains, what is about to emerge still remains unseen. So this is a blend, actually, citrus bloom, of several citrus oils. And what this helps to shift is, if you think about when a flower is about to bloom, or if you have ideas that are about to be birthed, or if you are about to start a new adventure, or a new chapter, or a new class, or a new job, or you would just hit with some information that is new. What this does is it shifts from the stagnant state, not that stagnation is bad, but it helps you to shift from that stagnant state of stillness into a flow of momentum, but with a very gentle movement or metamorphosis. Just like when you watch that slow, what is it called? Time lapsed release or time lapsed opening of a flower. Imagine that's what this oil helps you to do. It helps you to just gently open to all the possibilities. It's a beautiful, beautiful blend. It also helps when you're feeling immobilized or remorseful, or if you're feeling guilty or stuck in the past. It helps you to move through into a beautiful state. So the next oil is juniper berry, which I know is the oil of the night. And juniper berry assists those who fear the dark or the unknown. So you see how these are very, very well put together. So far, all these oils, we're talking about, shifting into movement and out of stagnation. We're being vulnerable into moving into the next thing. Osmanthus is moving gently when you're feeling overwhelmed. This is such a beautiful combination of oils. Juniper berry helps individuals understand when those things that they fear are intended to be their teacher. So oftentimes those things that we fear facing, when we overcome them, we feel so much greater. And it helps us to accept that shift, that metamorphosis. And remember, citrus bloom helps you with that metamorphosis, right? So how good is this? It says irrationally fearful, reoccurrent nightmares, disruptive sleep, or if you're feeling evasive. So this oil, juniper berry, this one's also used for night terrors, especially in kids or adults that have had trauma, PTSD, things like that. This is such a great oil to help get through that period of time, through the night time, through the times of darkness. It says the oil of the night, but if you think metaphorically, when we're in that dark state, it's like we're in the night. It's like everything is dark, everything is still, everything is scarier at night and bigger. Our problems become bigger. So you can see how these oils are stacking onto each other. Okay, lavender. Lavender is, it's actually one of my favorite oils, and we oftentimes overlook the common oils because they're so common. But lavender, I don't know if you know this, is a natural antihistamine. And that's one of the reasons it's one of my favorite oils. If you have a rash, if you have seasonal allergies, any skin discomfort, bites, anything like that, lavender is my go-to oil. It's also the oil of communication and calm. So if you think about communication, remembering all the oils that we just spoke about, you can see how this oil could so complement all the other oils that we're using to be on a journey of transformation. Lavender supports individuals in releasing tension and constriction that stems from withheld expression. So, going back to the osmanthus, when we're feeling overwhelmed, the clary calm when we're feeling vulnerable, and citrus bloom when we're feeling stuck, the juniper berry when at night everything is so scary or dark, and this one with the citrus bloom blooming into beautiful communication. When we have blocked communication, we don't know what to say, we don't have the right words, or we're fearful of rejection, or we may have racing thoughts. or even emotional dishonesty. So, like emotional bypassing, or um, when we're hiding because we have fear of disclosure. This lavender, when we just simply put it on our throat and smell it, it helps to just calm the central nervous system, taking a few deep breaths, and now we can move into the next phase. So we also know that lavender is great for stress and anxiety. Now I'm reading from the book. Sunburns, burns, scars, because lavender is so soothing for the skin. Please don't rain. It's also great for colicky babies, upset tummies, cuts, wounds, blisters, nosebleeds, right? Because think about it, it's calming and soothing. So think about that from a well-rounded perspective. Okay, let's see what else we have here. I'm not sure if vanilla is going to be in this. It is. Vanilla is the oil of unfolding. Ah, so whenever we think of vanilla, we think of a couple of things. We think of, well, I do, baking, dessert, sweets. That's when I pull my Metapower out. The scent of vanilla is like, everybody knows that scent. And it's oftentimes in perfumes that are more for the younger generation, because it has that sweet scent, that sweetness to it. So when you think about that sweetness, um, it also makes us feel joyful and happy, youthful, and sweet, really, and not so serious. It helps us to calm down and just be playful. Vanilla is like, it helps with, if you're feeling repressed or distant, it kind of brings you to the party. You're ready to enjoy the cake of life, right? So it helps you to feel more optimistic and joyful and open and reawakened, kind of like that citrus bloom, right? Think about flowers and vanilla. That reminds me of my gourmet culinary school when I was teaching. All right, I won't babble too much here. We've got a lot to cover. Enoki. Enoki is the oil of natural harmony. Of course, it was originally made for the Japanese market, and it so reminds me. We have Nana Abihara in our team, and she's Japanese, and she taught me something that I never forgot, and I absolutely love the way that she described this. She says, the Japanese culture are cautious, but we like to make sure that we know before we jump. We know before we go in. And so she says, if we're crossing a river and we see the rock path, we tap, tap, step, tap, tap, step. And it makes me think of how you can slow down and kind of become one with nature, right? Become one with your present moment. So what this says in the essential emotions is, if you're feeling disharmonious or hurried or tense or stressed or disorganized or energetically blocked, this is such a great oil to help you in times of stress, or when you're feeling like there's no energetic fluidity, you know. Um, This is similar to walking in a Japanese garden, which is helpful in times of stress and overstimulation. It soothes individuals when they're feeling hurried. So this brings me back to that tap, tap, step, tap, tap, step. Again, when we slow down, we get those messages, we get that divine inspiration. And so this just helps us to move through life in a more harmonious way. Okay, cypress. Let's look up cypress. Cypress. Oopsie. Cypress. Cypress is the oil of motion and flow. And I'm also going to look it up in here because I know cypress is so good for so many different things. I have to get the physical uses of it as well. So restless leg syndrome, poor circulation, poor urine flow, edema, toxema, sorry, bedwetting, okay, incontinence, varicose veins and hemorrhoids, cellulite, ladies and gentlemen of the cellulite, I like to call cellulite cottage cheese. Whooping and spastic cough, prostate and pancreas and ovary issues, liver and gallbladder decongestant. You could rub cypress over those areas and you can use it as like a cleanse. Now you have to be consistent and you have to be regular with this. Heavy periods and endometriosis and fibroids, and also to help calm your energy. It's also a tree oil. So whenever we're talking about tree oils, think about what does a tree do? A tree is solid, it's grounded, it's earthed. So if you need that yourself, go to a tree oil, any tree oil. And cypress is a really good one. Next oil is vetiver. I've been using this one every night to help me sleep. I love vetiver. It's like syrup. They have to literally hand decant it in every single bottle because it is so thick that it clogs the machines. Did you know that? Vetiver is the oil of centering and descent, which you would never know because there's so many jokes about holding the bottle upside down and it's like a skeleton because you're waiting so long for the oil to come to descend because it's so syrupy that you turn into a skeleton, you know. Anyway, vetiver is one of our amazing oils for ADD, ADHD, focus and concentration, learning difficulties and poor concentration, insomnia and irritability. So what I do for any of those things that I mentioned, I personally don't have, I don't know, sometimes you would think I have ADHD. But what I do is once I get it on my hand, I then dip my finger in it. And this is one that you might even want to, depending on how you use it, sometimes I will, if I have two bottles, I'll take the orifice reducer out and put it into another little bottle and add a little fractionated coconut oil to thin it out. They also make it in a roller bottle, but this in the BOGO is the actual 15 ml bottle, which I think is better because then you can make your own roller bottles. So anyway, what I do is I put it behind my ears, behind my neck, under my nose, around my head, because that's where all the action's happening, around my head, right? I'm thinking fast, I can't sleep, I'm overactive. Now, ladies, vetiver could also be used along with Clary Calm for breast enlargement. Not even joking. When I started using Clary Calm, I normally put it down by my ovary area, but you can also do a little ring, 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 ring. And it was like, I don't know if they had these hot dogs here in Australia, but in America they had hot dogs called, the brand was Hebrew National, and their tagline was, they plump when you cook them. So I like to say with Clary Calm, your breasts plump when you put it on. So I'm just saying. Vetiver has that same effect. Sorry. You know me, I have no filter. It's also good for vitiligo, for anorexia, for tuberculosis. You want to apply it to the affected areas of the skin. For anorexia, you want to apply to the back of the neck, across the forehead, because it's a thought. Anorexia is here. It's not here. This makes this do something, right? Or this not do something, right? Stretch marks and discoloration and scars, postpartum depression, breast enlargement, I already said that. So vetiver, what vetiver does, I remember when vetiver first came out, we had one of my dear friends with us at convention, and she is on the spectrum. And I said, what do you think about vetiver versus frankincense? And she said, vetiver kind of helps slow my thought process down. So I'm not spinning, Um, sometimes people will get caught on a thought highway and they can't slow down or get off. This one's also a really great one when you're laying in bed, like you've tried lavender, it's calmed you down, but your brain is still spinning. You're trying to solve all the problems of the world in the middle of the night. Vetiver is the one that you want to put on. I also use rum and chamomile, but vetiver is a great one to help slow your thoughts. Just like it forces you to be patient as you wait for it to come out of the bottle. Mm. Okay, I'm going to keep talking about these. Then I'm going to tell you, when you buy this, you get this. When you buy this, you get this. Or you could just buy the BOGO Box bundle, okay? Now, the next oil we're going to talk about is Clary Sage. Now, I did mention this one because it's in Clary Calm. Clary Sage is the oil of clarity and vision, okay? Let me look it up in here. This one is, if you're feeling spiritually disconnected or just disconnected, okay, this one can help you. Where is it? Clary. Where are you, Clary? Here it is, Clary Sage. Okay, so it dispels the darkness. Let's just talk about this. When you're having dark thoughts, oftentimes it's when we're imbalanced in some way, shape, or form, right? We go spinning off into dark thoughts, and we can feel blocked, we can feel hopeless, we can feel really disconnected from the world, caught in our own thought process. This often happens during hormonal changes, both in boys and in girls, and in women and in men. Okay? So Clary Sage assists individuals in changing their perception. It helps you to see things differently. It helps you when you are stuck in those dark thoughts. It helps you when you're in a healing crisis. Oftentimes when we're on the wellness journey, sometimes we get worse before we get better, because the body is dispelling all of the negativity, all of the junk. It's getting rid of, it's cleaning house, and those pathways get clogged up with all the gunk. It's like as you're sweeping it all out, the drain gets a little clogged and you've got to kind of help it along, right? And that happens sometimes in our mind. Clary Sage is also one that they use. Well, I'm just going to read it from the Essential Life book. Endometriosis and breast cancer, because we're dealing with hormones here. This helps to balance the hormones. Parkinson's, seizures and convulsions, childbirth and low milk supply. Again, hormones, right? Infertility and prostate, uterine health, PMS and menopause, postpartum depression and anxiety, hot flashes. All hormones, right? Pink eye and cataracts. Again, you don't ever put essential oils directly in your eyes, ears, nose, or dark places. For your eyes, you want to rub it around, right? For your ears, you always want to just put it on a cotton wool and then put it in. Clary Sage is also a really good one for insomnia. It's also great for dreaming. And if you want to do things like astro travel, it's a really great one to diffuse while you're sleeping. Okay, ylang ylang. Now, I say lang lang. Some people say ylang ylang. Ylang ylang. It's the oil of the inner child. Of course, because it's the same name twice. It's like when a kid goes, Mom, 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 Mom. It's like, ylang, 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 ylang. See, it's annoying. It's a powerful remedy for the heart. Okay. Now, if you think about the inner child and being more buoyant, um, being playful, intuitive. Kids are very intuitive. You know what? Because they're receiving the messages and they're not getting caught up in the thought process. They don't overthink things. They just go. It's a go and no go, right? When they're not happy, because they start screaming and yelling and crying. But when they're happy, they are laughing and loud and boisterous, right? So they're very emotionally connected to the present time. Um, Lang Lang is also, it helps you with that inner child, because it's the oil of the inner child. Powerful remedy for releasing emotional trauma from the past. This is a great oil to work on when you're healing those emotions, when you're doing things like breath work or meditation or plant medicine journeys. This is a good oil to have with you to take you through that. Um, let's see, negative emotions. If you're feeling joyless, stressed, overanalyzing, sad, oh my gosh, these bugs. It's also age regression work, yeah, and other methods of emotional healing. Really, really awesome. And Lang Lang, here's a fun fact about a Lang Lang. When they harvest the leaves, because what they do is they distill the leaves of the flower. It's a very, very volatile flower. They actually harvest it 2 hours before the sun rises, and it must be distilled within 2 hours of harvest. So they have to do it, they have to collect them before sunrise, and then it must get into the distill immediately. So when they have the farms and the distillery, it's actually built so that there's a 2 hour, it would, at the furthest point, it take 2 hours if you're on foot. Like, obviously it's not that far, but so that if you are last man standing collecting the petals, you can still make it to the distillery because it must be distilled within 2 hours. Now, that's something that only doTERRA does and no other company. And the reason they do that is because there's something magical that happens before the sun comes up with the constituents in this flower petal, and when they distill it within 2 hours of it being pulled from the flower. So doTERRA goes to the nth degree to get the science right on all of these oils. This is why doTERRA is the leading essential oil company in the world, because we go beyond. We go to the nth degree to find out, what does the science say? We're not just doing, hooey wooey, oh, I used all organic and I blessed it every day. Yes, they do that too. But on every single bottle, you will find a QR code or a number that will tell you what the constituent makeup is. We are the only essential oils in the world that are FDA and TGA approved, because we had to prove for 10 years the consistency in efficacy of our oils. Okay? Now, we can prove that because of methods of distillation and using the science to get a top quality product, and consistently makes us the number one company. And it's not just with the essential oils, it's with the collagen and all the other products that we have also. All right, now the last oil, geranium. Ooh, I love geranium. Geranium is also called poor man's rose. So geranium is the oil of love and trust. Love and trust. It restores confidence in the innate goodness of others in the world. So when you're feeling really cynical and, it's like you just need to relax, you need to drop out of the head and into the heart, you want to work with geranium, especially if you don't have rose. Now, rose and geranium are a little bit different, but a lot of the same constituents are in both. So I'm going to look it up in LMNOPQRS. Here it is, geranium. So geranium, it also facilitates trust, especially when individuals have lost trust. So when you think about childhood trauma, okay, this is when we lose trust in our guardians or whatever was the trauma, right? Whoever we relate that trauma to. And so what this does is when we stay in that trauma, we're stuck in the thoughts. Every time we think it, we relive it, right? Instead of focusing on more positive aspects and dropping into the heart, regardless of what happened, happened, right? But for you to feel a love for yourself and for you to be able to move past that, you need to drop into the heart, right? So when you're feeling abandoned or loss, maybe you've lost a loved one, or maybe you're feeling distrusting because you had an experience, or you're feeling unloved or unforgiving. Maybe you feel disheartened because of a situation that might have happened. Or maybe you're just grieving because you lost a loved one, a parent or a partner. This one could assist you in reestablishing that strong bond with those people and the mother and the father, or the guardian, whoever that was. So I'm going to read now from the Essential Life book to tell you what types of issues, physical issues, not so emotional, physical issues you can work with geranium. I am talking so fast. 12 oils. Oh my gosh, how long is this video? Okay, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and kidney issues, right? When you think about Chinese medicine, and when we are angry, when we're not in our heart, when we're holding on to that anger, we're bitter-hearted. We hold that in our lungs and in our liver. Yeah? So you want to put geranium over your heart and over your liver. Gallbladder, pancreas, and kidneys, all of these organs have to do with the same chakra. Okay, that's that energetic organ. So it helps you to dispel that. Blood issues and bleeding. This is the lifeblood. When you think about your heart pumping, it's pumping that blood, right? It's also moving that energy and those emotions all throughout your body. Cuts and wounds. So think about a wounded heart, a wounded, PMS and hormone balancing. PMS, what are you doing? You're shedding your blood, right? Well, not PMS, but you know what I'm saying. Low libido, dry or oily hair and skin, moisturizer, body odor. Body odor has to do with so many things, but hormones is one of them. What you're eating is another. Do you know that you can eat all the perfect food in the world. You can bless it. It could be all organic. You could prepare it as great as you possibly can. You could have organic chickens that wander through the fields, frolicking and having fun. But if when you consume that food, you are bitter and angry, everything that has happened prior to it going in your mouth just went down the drain. And that bitter and angriness gets held within your body. So geranium, poor man's rose. Think about a rose. What does a rose represent? It represents love, right? Love and tenderness. And this is something that you can give yourself when you use geranium. So those are all the oils. That's what you can get out of them. That's why they're so amazing. And there's way more that I could talk about, but I don't want this video to be much, much longer. Now, if you want to individually buy these BOGO oils, if you buy Madagascar vanilla, then you get the citrus bloom free. Buy vanilla, get citrus bloom free. If you want Lang Lang or cypress, when you buy Lang Lang, you get cypress for free. Okay? Now, I'll tell you the prices too, since I'm looking at it. So for the whole, I'm going to digress, the BOGO kit, the BOGO bundle, when you buy all 12 oils and you get that face roller thing or skin roller thing, that is $294 Australian. I don't know what it is for New Zealand because I can't access that. If you buy the vanilla and you get the free citrus bloom, that is $34. It's 38 PV. If you buy the Lang Lang and you get the free cypress, that is $57. If you purchase the geranium, you get the free osmanthus. They bundled these so perfectly. Let me just tell you, if you go back and you listen to my description of these oils, I mean, doTERRA is really amazing. So geranium, you buy geranium, you get osmanthus, that's $52. Now this one's a triad. You buy vetiver, because all of these have to do with the nighttime, with sleep, okay? You buy vetiver, you get juniper berry, and you get lavender. All of those can support you with sleep, with dark thoughts, with calming down, with overbusy, overactive mind. That is $71. It's a really good deal. And finally, yes, the last bundle is if you want Clary Sage and Clary Calm, you buy the Clary Sage, you receive free the Clary Calm, and that is $60. So, we got through it. That was amazing. I can tell you right now, these BOGOs are awesome. The diamond chat's going off, which tells me if you want these BOGOs, do not wait. Okay? That's all for now. I love you. If you have any questions, write them below, and we will answer those questions. Now I'm going to pop off. Go order your BOGO. And be sure you do it as an LRP order so that you receive points back on this. Okay? The BOGO Box bundle is 208 PV, and depending on how many points back you get, that's a nice little bundle of points that you can use to purchase another product. Mwah! I love you all.